Dale Little here, and welcome to what I call the Relic Biker. 74 years old now, so I say I probably qualify. There's a picture of when I used to take horses into prisons back home in the States, North Carolina. Please hit like and subscribe and wear your helmets. Uh, Make them in handy sometime. Today is the videos, all familiar territory if you've watched the videos before, but maybe a couple of new songs, different, and a little more description. What I'm going to do is go out here from our where we relocated to and take a right up the hill. We're going to give you of not only Cisnadie but surrounding area and the mountains, and then we'll take a look at the you can see across the town to the other side where I go up sometimes to what I call either the Magurla Peak Trail or it's called Livesey Street, I think. Best I can pronounce it right now. And that translates into English as Orchard Street. So we'll look at Orchard Street, and I go across to what we're seeing from this vantage point when I get up here, and we'll go to there and look back over this way at that time. Here's a song that's written by a good friend of mine back home in North Carolina, Roger Keener, and it asked me to work out some chords to it, so I did, and so this is what we come up with. Oh, sinner friend, are you looking to a world that is blind? Are you searching for peace? Days of perilous times. Is your heart filled with troubles and your mind all in doubt? Then give your heart to Jesus. He wants to save you now. So what about a man called Jesus, God's only begotten Son, sent down from heaven to die for what we've done? He was nailed to a tree on Mount Calvary. This man named Jesus, yes, he died for you and me. Oh, sinner friend, do you hear him? He's calling you today. Oh, listen to his spirit, please turn not away. By faith you can receive him if you will just believe. Just call on the name of Jesus and he will set you free. So what about a man called Jesus, God's only begotten Son, sent down from heaven to die for what we've done? He was nailed to a tree on Mount Calvary. This man named Jesus, yes, he died for you and me. Yes, this man named Jesus, yes, he died for you and me. Well, the little dog there wanted to come after me, but we had a few words as I came by, and so it stopped. Going to a place out here that I've been to a couple times before. It's a good vantage point to look down on the town of Cisnadie. But boy, all these houses are going up all over the place. Just push these roads in. They've been there for a little while, maybe a couple of years. Um, yeah, I think so. And they sit there for a good while, and slowly the building began. And now, once it got started, it's really booming out through here. A lot of houses going up, as they are houses and apartments. I don't know, what they are for sure, but here in Cisnadie and in Cebu, just phenomenal building, constant. Been like that for 3 years since we've been here, and even before, when we were here in 2017. So 4 or 5 years now, and maybe more longer than that. I don't know what's going on, how far back. I know it was because some places that were new when we got here, new communities and stuff on the edge. You can see the mountains there in distance, right over the top of that building that's being built there, right in the center. Snow-capped mountains, good vantage point for them. Now, only a minute or two ago, I was just back behind me from where I'm looking now, and down below, there were, you couldn't really see them that good, but there's two what looks like chicken houses, and I reference those because we'll look back across this way when we get over to the other side in a little bit. And those are not chicken houses, though. They're actually what used to be fox houses. Over here they did things backwards, and they let the chickens run out, and they put all the foxes in houses where they couldn't get to the chickens. So well, maybe that's not quite. Actually, they put the foxes, they raised foxes for their fur, and so they had kept them in what looks like chicken houses to us. But I'm going to stop here in just a second. On my bike, I'm going to lower my seat a little bit because I need my feet to be able to reach the ground a little bit easier than this is got some big rocks still in it along the way. It was all just big rocks on top of the ground, but just in a few months, couple months of winter weather and all the traffic through here, the building and stuff, it's almost gone, but there's still a few big rocks kind of on the surface. So I want to make sure that if I hit one and kind of kicks me sideways a little bit, I'll be able to get my feet on the ground to stay upright. And on the way down, I did hit one of those rocks that kind of kicked me sideways just slightly, enough to throw me off balance. I had to put my feet down. I didn't stop, so you really don't notice it that much in the video, and I couldn't really pick out now where exactly it was at. But anyway, we head on. I'm going to the other side, over to the base of the mountains over there, and then I'm going to come back and go up the middle toward Cisnadioara. I'm on my way to the promised land. I've climbed mountains, crossed desert sands. Through it all, God holds my hand. I'm on my way to the promised land. I'm on my way to the promised land where milk and honey flows. I've been in Egypt's bondage, but on Jordan I did cross. I fought my battle at Jericho and the walls came tumbling down. God gave me the victory. I'm on my way to the promised land. I'm on my way to the promised land. And I've climbed mountains, crossed desert sands. Through it all, God holds my hand. I'm on my way to the promised land. I've been with Daniel's lions, but God protected me. I stood with the Hebrew children, walked out a flame scar free. I fought with old Goliath with God's slingshot in my hand. Watched armies flee before me on my way to the promised land. I'm on my way to the promised land. I've been in Jonah's well till my Nineveh I found. I've been up Calvary's hill so many times that I've lost count. No matter what the battle, my God fights them all for me. Since He broke the prison bars to set my captive spirit free, I'm on my way to the promised land. And I've climbed mountains, crossed desert sands. Through it all, God holds my hand. I'm on my way to the promised land. To the promised land. I'm on my way to the promised land. Joshua fought the battle at Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho and the walls came tumbling down. You may talk about the men of Gideon, you may brag about the men of Saul, but there's none like good old Joshua at the battle at Jericho. And Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. And Joshua fought the battle of Jericho and the walls came tumbling down. Up to the walls of Jericho they marched with spears in hand. Come blow them ram horns, Joshua said, 'cause the battle is in our hands. And Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho and the walls came tumbling down. And then the ram sheep horns began to blow, the trumpets began to sound. Joshua commanded the children to shout and the walls came tumbling down. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho and the walls came tumbling down. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho and the walls came tumbling down. Believe it or not, look like it or not, He's got the whole world in His hands. 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 He's got the wind and the rain in His hands. He's got the wind and the rain in His hands. He's got the wind and the rain. In His hands, He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got the tiny baby in His hands. He's got the tiny baby in His hands. He's got the tiny baby in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got you and me, brother, in His hands. He's got you and me, brother, in His hands. He's got you and me, brother, in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got you and me, sister, in His hands. He's got you and me, sister, in His hands. He's got you and me, sister, in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. He's got the whole world in His hands. Satan may be the prince of this world, but God's got the whole world in His hands, and Satan can only do what he's permitted to do for a short time. Coming up, I turn here. I'm going up to, I guess, what you call Main Street. um, Although that's not the name of it. I hit the sidewalk and you see a car pass me and then stop ahead, just ahead of me, and then the man gets out and opens the car door right in front of me. You cannot see it because the camera looks like I've already passed, but that's because of the way the camera is zoomed. Right here, and yeah, it looks like I was just passed when the car door opened, but I was not, I promise you. I'm looking at that car door when it flies open, and I thought, well, you just passed me. You had to see me. Uh, I don't know. I thought drivers in America were rude, and many of them are, don't get me wrong. But I believe, and not all Romanians are rude drivers, but boy, I think that some of them's got Americans beat on rudeness, especially when it comes to bicycles. And I'm not sure if this is the video. I've been up through here a couple times the last few days. Stopped and let that car pass. I didn't really stop, but slowed down and moved over. And the other day when I came through here, I met a car, the same place right here, coming the opposite direction. And I have the right of what. I'm already out here, and I duck in right there to give him some room, and come on up. But yeah, they weren't slowing down at all. Good thing I had that room there to duck in. Actually, he had the right of way, but I was already out there when he came on the scene, so have absolutely slowed down a little bit, but they don't. Now I'm headed up to, like I say, what translates to Orchard Street, and there are some orchards up here. Of course, the orchards all over around Cisnadie and Cisnadioara. Dog behind the fence. When the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, Lord, how I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, and when the sun refuses to shine, when the sun refuses to shine, Lord, how I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, Lord, how I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, when the trumpet sounds its call, when the trumpet sounds its call, Lord, how I want to be in that number. When the trumpet sounds its call, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, Lord, how I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, Lord, how I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in. Well, that sun is terribly blinding. I've got my prescription sunglasses on, but I only see just a very short distance ahead of me, as often you can here on the video. But I'm very shortly be coming up, and there it is in view now. You can barely make it out. Up on the right is that triangular fence I was talking about that you could see from the other side that was from the viewpoint over there, look, as it's right at the base of the mountain. And so this is it. I'll go up here to the upper side of it, upper end. They've just put this up in this past months, beginning to clear out in there in the past year here, and then put that fence up. I'm not sure what is going to be in it. It's going to be a group of apartments, or if it's just going to be somebody's estate and put them a big house in there. I have no idea, but hard to tell. So far, there's not been any construction going on inside. The walls have been up here, the gates, for a few months now. And I'm going to pull in and just take a brief look right here of the gravel. And this has been one of my favorite viewpoints on this side. And looking straight ahead is the Church of Cisnadioara on one of those little small peaks compared to the rest of them there. You can't see it because of the sun and the distance today. Now, looking back across, get me a little better viewpoint here. Just across the top of the fencing, and you can see the two long white houses right just to the right of center of the picture, near the center. Across the top of that fence, that's the two fox houses where I was just on the other side of a little earlier, looking over this way. And well, there's a view right there. If I can find from that view right there, I've had several adventures. That's over to the right is what I call the Grassy Ridge, and chased by a huge sheepdog up there. I had to get my club out, or at least guide out. Felt the need to there. Not sure what they were waiting on. I just been kind of looking there. Guy started to get up for a minute. Thought maybe he was going to talk to me, but then went on. But anyway, yeah, it's also that grassy area is where I came down and before the grass was mowed and hit a drainage ditch fairly hard. So did finally get up there, and from that to the Grassy Ridge, I could see on this side, I could see Cisnadie. On the other side, I could see Cebu kind of between the trees. Okay, I'm going to go on up just to the gate at the head of the trail up here that goes up to the what they call Magurla Peak. And occasionally some sheepdogs to get by up here, but we did not have any today, this day. Okay, coming up on the gate, just beyond these cars here, and I've kept my power level on my bike set at 1 out of 5. 5 gives you the biggest boost, the most power. But I've kept it on 1, partly to conserve the battery, and which it's not near depleted, but it also gives me a little better exercise. Makes me put out more effort getting up these hills. So I could have been making better time, but I need the exercise. That's the original reason I bought a bike to start with, and the videos just came as a result of that, an extra, let's say. So on the way back down here now, and I get down here, and a little dog decides to give chase, and just very shortly, but I was already up speed a little bit, and I just kicked it a little harder and whizzed on by. And here he comes. I go by this house here. Now, first it looked like another one's cutting me off down here. There it comes. But that's actually a cat. So it's getting it. I'm doing probably close to 35, 40, yeah, probably 35 kilometers per hour down. So it dove into a culvert there. Heard the dog barking, heard me coming, so it's headed for cover. Okay, I heard something hit the pavement. So turn around. It's my tail light. Came off the back. Rough pavement there. Shook it loose. Battery powered all lit up. Oh, I'm going to cut some here. I pulled over and cleaned my bike off, brushed it off. I had some mud spin on it for a while, and I took a brush while I was putting that light back on. Cleaned it off and headed on down then. Now here I start back down that steep hill, back to the main road down here, and it is steep. I have laid out down through here before, and actually cranked it up, see how fast I can get, but don't do that much anymore. Just kind of gently ride my brakes to keep it in fire control, so I don't wear them too much. Get down to the bottom and let it loose a little bit. But, now I'll take a left, head toward Cisnadioara. Now, after going on this road, I decided to crank my bike, the power level on up to 3 or 4. I think 3 is normal, and that's where it automatically goes to. But to keep my speed up, because I'm trying to keep an eye on behind me, because if I can't see where I'm going for the sun, then it's going to be very difficult for cars to see me coming up behind me. So I didn't want to go too slow, and like I say, I'm keeping a sharp eye in my rearview mirror and see if anybody's coming up. I'm going to move out of the way as much as I can. A little hard to right here with the fencing along the way, but it ends spaces, and it ends entirely on up here a little ways. But anyway, that's our trip, and like I say, we're kind of right up the middle between the 2 points that we were at a while ago, and I ran out of power. Actually, I think I ran out of room on my disc before my return trip. I just barely got into Cisnadioara when I ran out, so I was wanting to video the return trip. I was hoping I had that, and I was going to cut a lot of this and put it in, but that's not the case. So we're going to cut it and probably end it right here, and I may go back and cut out a little more. It's a little longer than what I usually do. So I may shorten it a little bit if I can find a spot or two back as I go back and edit some, and try not to edit out any of my voiceovers and the songs, whatever. But yeah, we'll stop at just I'm heading out of Cisnadie here up by the sports complex. Give your heart to Jesus. He has a brand new one waiting for you. And please subscribe to our channel here, and you get the updates as we put new videos up of the travels I make here biking, and also a teaching video. We're studying the end times, eschatology as they call it, right now in this series. So like I say, subscribe to the channel. Thank you. God bless.